on the floor of Parliament, the attention of the Speaker was brought to of the decision, and then Honourable Dafiama was urging upon the Speaker not to allow the third MP, affected MP, to sit as MP for his constituency. But the Speaker of Parliament drew his attention and the floor has brought attention to the position of the law that it is only after the expiration of the 7 days that he may be asked not to sit in as MP. So that is the thing we are talking about. So that if you look at what is supposed to be done, the Clerk of Parliament has written to the EC. The EC must continue and hold the by-election. So you find that the position of the majority leaves sway. But the other one has to do with there's a matter before the court. Mm-hmm. The decision of the court remains the decision of court until it is overturned. Mm-hmm. So they brought the reverse. Yeah. So when there is an appeal, he should pursue his appeal. The other things he's supposed to do, I spoke to you on air about it, which I said the matter is before court, so I cannot now advise again. Mm-hmm. They have lawyers. They are supposed to do things which we can stall the process, which they are not doing. If they are not doing it, then they can go ahead and hold the by-election.
So what happens if he gets a favorable ruling in the appeal that he has filed? What would because the by-election, we are told, is supposed to happen within 30 days.
Yes.
Let's assume that 2 days after the 30 days, having done the by-election, then the court said that, oh, yes, we have the appeal. I think you have a point, so we agree with you. So we are going ahead to make these rulings here and there. What will happen? How would that play out?
So that if the appellate court finds merit in appeal, then it would grant the relief sought, i.e., possibly to ask the decision, to order that the decision, to set aside the decision, and order that the person is reinstated. And there's a procedure and reinstating.
What if at that time the primary had already, the election had already been held, and the member has been sworn into office as the member of parliament for Kwandai?
That means that whoever is in appeal must know what to do from there. Aside the relief sought, if there is a subsequent swearing of a new MP who has filled out the position, then there's a step he's supposed to take, which his lawyers must help him do, for which he can have the whole swearing in reversed so that he can be replaced. But obviously, if there's a merit in his appeal, the appellate court automatically would set aside the decision of the High Court and uphold his position as the substantive MP for the constituency.
Okay, now, is it your thinking that if the member of parliament had filed or appealed the decision within the 7-day window, automatically that would have stayed the hands of parliament from going ahead to notify the EC?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when there is a judgment, it's not only in this case, or when there's a judgment, there's generally that 7-day window where the aggrieved person can ventilate his grievance, his or her grievance. Mm-hmm. And within that period, the victorious person or the person who is successful in the trial cannot execute the judgment.
Okay.
So that's where you can even prepare, assess what the judgment is about, the loopholes in the errors in there. You engage with a lawyer, prepare your notice of appeal, you file. So you file a notice of appeal. But I'm saying that if that 7 days lapses, you should have filed the appeal. Filing appeal will not stay proceedings, will not stay a judgment unless you then bring a motion to stay the judgment.
But could he have requested for what members of parliament will call maybe certificate of urgency? I don't know what you describe it in the court system. To say the court should deal with the matter within, say, 3 days or 7 days, so that by the time the constitutionally provided 7-day window elapses, then the matter will have been determined in case of the appeal particularly. Could that have happened?
Alfa, the legal system we have here cannot be forced to run fast by a party to a suit. It's a process. So you file your notice of appeal. And notice of appeal, once it's filed, you are nowhere near judgment. There should be a time where you hearing notice will be served on you to appear before the registrar to now settle record by a letter or in a form known as Form 2 to come settle record, look at the records that were used, the document used for trial to see if all of them should be used for the appeal. Then when that is settled, then the registrar will now have the whole thing referred to the unit which prepares what is known as the record of appeal, which is a voluminous document depending on which the document used for trial or the length of trial. So if it is compiled, then this document will then be procured by the party who is appealing. Then the party is supposed to take the document. The whole book is a book. Normally it's book if it depends on the size. Then you have to go through each pages to see whether or not there are errors in there, or whether or not some information were not captured, or whether or not there is a need to do other corrections in there. And if that is concluded, then you have to return the book to the registrar. Then the registrar would have the other side, would also look at it, also suggest any errors found in there or any omissions found in there. If they are true, then the registrar will then add a document which is known as Form 6, which is a document which is indicating to the person who is appealing that the whole record has been transmitted to the Court of Appeal. That is when you have the matter properly before the High Court of Appeal. But until that is transmitted, the matter is still before the High Court. So if they have any cause, they have to go to the High Court. It's the High Court they have to go to until it's transmitted. So we don't know the state. If it has been transmitted to the High Court of Appeal, then they can go to the Court of Appeal and then seek other interlocutory orders. Orders they can make, they can seek from the court to store certain occurrences in Parliament, or orders to be made to seek expedite prosecution of the case.
And they, but as the High Court cannot process injunct, say, Electoral Commission from conducting the election.
It's all part of the interlocutory applications the lawyers can make. These are things they can make. Yeah, it's all the options that are given to parties to an appeal. So the affected person can advise and instruct his lawyers to take that path.
I see. Lawyer, thank you very much for this education.
Your pleasure. And let me also take the opportunity to thank your listeners. And unfortunately, I did not send my greetings to them before I started the conversation.
We went straight into it.
They should all continue to stay glued to your set, your FM station, and you keep on educating them.
Thank you very much for always making it a point to give us this important education. He's a lawyer. He's a private legal practitioner, and he's also a law lecturer at the Faculty of Law at KNUST. Nana Akwa III. He's also a chief. So that is his position on this particular matter. Interesting views. You first heard the former majority leader, Honorable Wasi Chairman Sir Bonsu. And then we also heard from the a law lecturer at the Faculty of Law, KNUST, Nana Akwa III. We'll give you the opportunity to also come through with your thoughts very shortly. My colleague Janice is here. I'm sure she followed the conversation. She has been also following the analysis so far. And so I'll let her give me her brief view on this matter before we come to you. Janice,
Alfa,
you've been following the conversation. There's law in it, there's politics, there's almost everything in it. It's a very interesting situation. Yes. Where do you stand? What do you think of what happened yesterday?
I think the law is very interesting. So I think from what we heard from the lawyer, what the majority in Parliament are saying about the whole Pandai situation is legally right.
Yes, in his legal view.
Yes,
No
yes.
lawyers, they will always disagree. I'm sure when I call another lawyer, I'll say, no, Charlie, what is he saying?
Yes, but then Osei Chimensa also disagrees that
And he disagrees on the basis of precedents. That as a speaker, you've had similar situation
and you handled it very
differently. So why are you changing the position this time around? But the lawyer also say this is in conformity with the law.
Yes.
If a vacancy has been occasioned and as of there's an official information to Parliament, then the clerk is supposed to do what he did.
Oh yes, but then yesterday Mahama Ayariga, the majority leader, also said something very similar, that although this is lawfully right or is constitutional, the speaker previously said because the minority is appealing, then there might be a little bit of a drag.
I think he used the word may. Yes.
And then Mahama Ayariga said maybe that is where the minority didn't really understand, and that is where the confusion is coming from. But then I think the confusion is understandable, right? And it's expected that legally, maybe this is right.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to look at it.
But then precedence.
Because assuming, just like majority leader argues, former majority leader, okay, you go ahead, you do the election, the member of parliament is successful with his appeal, and by then you've already elected a member of parliament, you've sworn him into office, maybe, what's going to happen? It's like it's recipe for confusion.
Of course. So
he said, okay, then why not wait? Let everything be exhausted. And then we'll take a decision. But the lawyer to say, but the law says, when this happens, this must happen. So you can't say this should not happen because there's a process. What? And the process, we don't even know the consequence that will come out of that particular process.
I think they can say that because it's not like this is the first time that this has happened. Just as the former majority leader told us, this is not the first time this has happened in Parliament before. There has been a very similar case, and the speaker handled it in a different way. So I think maybe I'm on the side of the majority and saying that let's be fair. Let's be
minority. You mean?
Yeah, minority.
Because see, in Parliament, precedent is also very key.
Oh yes.
And to be seen to be fair, when you are consistent, you cement the perception that indeed you're fair. But when you change the position as and when it favors a group or it's against another, then the issue of unfairness and what have you will begin to creep in. But then you have to also measure it against the law. And so far, based on the legal arguments that we've heard from our lawyer friend, it does suggest that what the majority is arguing is consistent with the law. But the minority also says, when this happened, this was how you approached it.
I mean, precedence also forms a very important part of our
yes, in our legal jurisprudence, precedence is key.
Yes.
But you know, in our laws, certain things comes before certain things. In our laws, what is expressly written in our constitution.
So I think maybe we can all agree that
is more or less holds much sway to any other thing.
Oh yeah.
You understand? So sometimes when you're dealing with it, okay, you go to the what does the Constitution say? Then you come to acts of Parliament. Then you come to maybe decisions of people who are in ministers, etc. Then you come to, of course, case law, those things. So his argument is that if the Constitution has expressly indicated what to do when something happens, you don't go and say, oh, the speaker handled it differently this time. The speaker's ruling does not override what is expressly written in the Constitution. That's the argument of the lawyer.
Yes.
But then the members too feel that, but you